Imagine you're at a wedding, a high-profile wedding of a relative, and there you find out that a very powerful businessman has come. The kind of man where one photo with him could push your career 10 years ahead. The man who has the strongest connections in your industry. And suddenly, someone introduces you to him. You have an opportunity, just 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, you have to create a place for yourself in his mind. Now tell me, what would you do? Would you introduce yourself and list your achievements? That's what you'd do, right? Or would you directly say, "Sir, I need an opportunity"? Or would you be extremely polite and say, "Sir, I'm a huge fan. I want to learn a lot from you"? Those are the three things that came to your mind, right? If your answer is yes, then you've already lost. You've become part of the crowd that irritates powerful people every single day. The crowd that wants a lot but understands nothing. The real game isn't what you say. The real game is how you make the other person feel. And in the next few minutes, you'll learn the exact formula that creates connection with powerful people. The path that Machiavelli understood 500 years ago. The rules you won't find in textbooks. But listen, this is not motivation. This is war. A social war. Either you understand the rules of this game and rise, or you spend your life watching others rise. There is no middle path. 16th century Florence, Italy. At that time, Italy was divided into small states. Politics, betrayal, conspiracies, kings kept changing. Blood was spilled constantly. In this chaos, Machiavelli was a diplomat. He worked in royal courts. But one day, he himself fell out of power. He was removed, tortured, and exiled. While sitting in exile, Machiavelli wrote something that is still considered controversial 500 years later. The Prince. A book explaining how real power works. Rules that are never openly taught. He wrote that the world doesn't run on morality. It runs on perception. On usefulness. On the balance between fear and respect. His most famous line was, "If you can't be both loved and feared, it is better to be feared." But that doesn't mean becoming a villain. It means respect is more valuable than affection. Love changes. Respect lasts. And when you want to get close to powerful people, you don't need their sympathy, you need their respect. Machiavelli understood that every relationship has a power equation. Someone is above, someone is below. Someone gives, someone takes. Those who understand this equation always win. Whether it was Italian politics 500 years ago, or US corporate life today, the rules are the same. Human nature doesn't change. Now you might be thinking, these are Italian stories. Machiavelli was talking about kings and princes. Where are powerful people in my life? I'm from a middle-class family. But think carefully. How many people need to impress their boss at work? How many people need to prove themselves to a senior colleague? How many people need to convince their father or uncle in a family business to give them responsibility? How many people have to pitch ideas to investors or big customers? How many people have to message someone important on LinkedIn? How many people have to build status in society, committees, or professional groups? This happens every day. Every day, you speak to someone more powerful than you. Financially, socially, or professionally. The real question isn't whether powerful people exist in your life. The real question is how you behave when you're in front of them. Do you understand their needs? Do you speak their language? Or do you stand there holding a list of your own needs? Here's the dark truth most people don't know. Powerful people don't see the world the way you or I do. For them, everyone fits into a category. Useful or useless. Asset or burden. Interesting or boring. And they decide this within the first 2 minutes. When you say, "Sir, I need help," what goes through their mind? They think, "He's here to take another beggar." They already have 50 people asking for time, money, favors, recommendations. You become just another name on that list, and invisible. When you list your achievements, they think, "He's insecure, he wants validation." And powerful people never take approval seekers seriously. Because someone who doesn't believe in his own worth can't increase anyone else's value. And when you say, "Sir, I'm your fan," the game is over. Fan means follower. Follower means below. Powerful people don't collect fans. They collect collaborators, partners, and people who strengthen their empire. Look at LinkedIn. Thousands of messages every day. Sir, I'm your biggest admirer. Please give me an opportunity. I need guidance. But no one gets a reply. Networking events. People handing out business cards, naming their companies. Please contact me later, sir. No one ever contacts. At weddings, people surround an influential man, laugh at everything he says, agree with everything. But once the party ends, no one remembers who they were. In family businesses, a son lists his degrees to impress his father. I did an MBA from Harvard. But he has no interest in learning ground-level work. He wants ownership without earning it. The father thinks. He's asking, not earning. In office politics, an employee complains that a junior got promoted. The boss sees it as jealousy, not capability. And powerful people hate demands. This happens every day. Thousands fail to build connections with powerful people for one reason. Their approach is wrong. They show need instead of value. Anxiety instead of confidence. Why does this happen? Because we're taught the wrong things from childhood. Be polite. Be humble. Say please and thank you. But no one teaches that interacting with powerful people is a different game. There, politeness without strength looks like weakness. Courtesy without confidence looks like desperation. Machiavelli wrote, "People decide by what they see, not what they hear." Your posture, body language, eye contact, confidence. These matter more than your words. Powerful people feel energy. If your energy shows need, they create distance. If your energy shows competence, they move closer. Power respects power. Confidence attracts confidence. When you make yourself small, they treat you as small. When you present yourself as equal, not arrogant, not submissive, they notice you. Because most people bend. Those who don't, stand out. So what should you do? If begging is wrong, self-praise is wrong, being a fan is wrong, what is the right way? Rule number 1 is simple. Never approach power as someone in need. Approach as an answer, as a solution. The moment you show need, your value drops. The moment you show capability, the game changes. Powerful people are surrounded by takers, advisors, flatterers, and parasites. They instantly know who adds weight to their empire and who drains it. Your job is to present yourself as someone who stabilizes, strengthens, and simplifies things. You don't compete with their power, you complement it. But for that, you need rule 2. Observe before you act. Most people act too fast. Talk too much. Reveal too soon. Machiavelli said, "Just like land is studied before war, people must be studied before engagement." Powerful people wear masks, but their real desires and fears leak out in their tone, timing, who they listen to, and who they interrupt. You're not there to impress. You're there to diagnose. Once you understand that they want recognition, loyalty, entertainment, and admiration, you can offer it in a form they can't refuse. Here's a real story. In 1850, America, a poor immigrant named Andrew Carnegie from Scotland. He worked in a textile factory, then got a small job in a telegraph office. He noticed something. His boss was always in a hurry. He was a senior railway official who needed quick decisions. So Carnegie stayed late at night and learned all the secret telegraph codes. The codes which only senior officers knew. One day, an urgent message came while the boss was away. Carnegie read it and made the correct decision. When the boss returned, he asked, "Who did this?" Carnegie said, "I did it, sir." "How do you know the codes?" "I learned them." Carnegie didn't ask for help. Didn't show degrees. He simply understood what power needed, and became it. That day changed his life. He became trusted. Later, he became one of the richest men in America. Because he went to power not with need, but with answers. You might think this is an old story. How does this work today? So here's a modern example. In 2010, Silicon Valley. A young man named Brian Chesky had an idea. Renting out spare rooms in homes. No money. No investors. Instead of directly begging investors, he studied them. At that time, there was a famous investor named Paul Graham of Y Combinator. Brian read all his interviews and blogs. He understood that Paul valued resilience, creativity, and persistence. In his pitch, Brian didn't say, "I need money." Instead, he told a story. When they were broke during the U.S. elections, they sold funny cereal boxes themed after Obama and McCain to survive. Paul Graham wasn't impressed by the cereal. He was impressed by the mindset. That same day, he invested. That company is now Airbnb, which is now worth billions. Because once again, he didn't bring need to power. He brought proof of value. He didn't beg. He first understood what the person in front of him needed. Then he presented himself in that exact form. He didn't look needy. He looked like a solution. He didn't look defeated. Instead, he looked like a fighter. These may sound like small things, but a powerful formula is hidden in them. That formula is this: powerful people don't care about your needs. They only care about their own needs. And the person who can fulfill their need becomes invaluable. So now the question is, how do you figure out what a powerful person actually wants? For that, you need to understand the third rule. Mirror their world, not yours. Powerful people trust familiar types of people, not strangers. They like those who reflect their own values. You don't copy them blindly. You match them. If they are practical, become practical. If they value exclusivity, speak that same language. This is not deception. This is rhythm. When you fall into their rhythm, they stop feeling like you're an outsider. They begin to feel that you understand them. And in that very moment, your outsider label starts to disappear. Understand this clearly. If you meet a wealthy, serious person, don't crack loud jokes. Don't be overly casual. They won't take you seriously. But if someone is open-minded and friendly, don't become overly formal or rigid. They'll find you boring. You must catch their wavelength. Catch their energy. Then adjust yourself to that energy. But remember, this should not be acting. It must be natural. That's why you must observe first, understand, and then adapt. Keep mystery in your capability. Matching alone is not enough. This is where the fourth rule comes in. Never present yourself as a completely open book. The moment you reveal everything you can do, you become a product. And products can be replaced. Machiavelli's genius was understanding that revealing things slowly creates demand. You want them to feel that you have more depth than you show, more reach than you reveal, and more connections than you admit. When they sense that there's something you're not saying, they don't lose interest, they become curious. You move from being one of many to one of a few. Rule number 5. Be humble in ambition and fierce in execution. In other words, appear modest in your ambition, but aggressive in execution. This is extremely important. Powerful people dislike those who openly display hunger for upward movement. Such people remind them of their own desperate struggle days, the years when they clawed their way up. No one wants to see that hungry reflection again. So what should you do? Appear calm and patient, as if you're not desperate for growth at all. But the moment opportunity appears, strike decisively. Powerful people immediately recognize this duality. Self-control paired with intent. It signals that you understand the rules of the game, but play it your own way. Rule number 6. Make powerful people compete for your loyalty. If your loyalty is freely available, it has no value. Present yourself as someone whose loyalty is a win to earn. Create light friction, not rebellion, but independence. When powerful people sense that you're not dependent on them, they want to hold on to you, even tighter. Remember, power protects what is difficult to obtain. Rule number 7. Turn flattery into strategy. Empty praise is poison. They hear it all day. What makes praise powerful is precision. Don't say, "You're amazing." Say, "Your timing on that decision was perfect." Now your praise shows intelligence. You are complimenting the exact skill they take pride in, and they'll associate that feeling with you. Rule number 8. Never let your shine outshine theirs. Even if you're more capable, never display it openly. The ego of power is extremely fragile. Those who begin to look bigger than the king are crushed. Rule number 9, build alliances sideways, not upward. Many people focus only on impressing those at the top, but the real game is played around them. The CEO's secretary, the minister's personal assistant, gatekeepers, advisors, confidants. These people shape perception, control access, and whisper into the right ears. They are often more dangerous and more valuable than the leader himself. Machiavelli called them the invisible princes. The real power behind the throne. Quietly befriend them. Offer small benefits. Earn their protection. And they will carry your name upward, without you asking. In the U.S. context, think about a state office. Most people try to meet the officer directly, wait for hours, and still fail. A smart person first builds rapport with the officer's personal assistant. Shows respect, understands their problems and helps in small ways. One day, when that assistant says, "Sir, this person is good," half your work is already done. This works everywhere, corporates, hospitals, or offices. These might be small things for you, but they have massive impact. Rule number 10, use gratitude as a weapon, not a weakness. When a powerful person helps you, don't respond like a servant. Respond like an equal who understands exchange. A servant says, "Thank you," once. A strategist shows gratitude through action. Solve one of their problems later. Share information that helps their goals. Action-backed gratitude changes the entire dynamic. You stop being a taker. You become a contributor. And contributors are hard to remove. So don't just say thanks. Ask, how can I give back, at the same level? If someone gave you a job, perform so well that they feel proud of the decision. If someone introduced you, give them valuable information in return. If someone advised you, apply it and show results. This isn't politeness. This is relationship building. This is moving from obligation to partnership. Rule number 11, master subtle rebellion. Complete surrender invites disrespect. Occasionally resist, politely, intelligently, and without threat. A small disagreement here, a quiet pushback there. Not disobedience, but independence. It signals that you have a spine. And people without a spine are never trusted. Machiavelli observed that constant flattery destroys credibility. But those who know when and how to say no earn respect. The key is this. Disagree as if you're protecting their interests, not attacking their authority. Rule number 12, control your visibility. Visibility is tempting, but dangerous when misused. If you appear too often, your novelty fades. If you appear rarely but are always remembered, you become legendary. After every success, step back. Let others speak your name. Powerful people crave those who are selective with their presence, because it mirrors their own behavior. The less accessible you appear, the more they chase your attention. So be strategic. Don't go everywhere. Post less, but post meaningfully. Speak rarely, but thoughtfully. When people see you less, they remember you more. When you are rare, you are valuable. This is not arrogance. This is strategy. Rule number 13, always walk as if you belong. Even before you've earned your seat at the table. Your posture, tone, and presence must signal certainty. Arrogance smells less offensive than insecurity. In powerful environments, don't wait for approval. Behave as if approval is already yours. Machiavelli said, "Fortune favors those who appear already chosen." Power respects confidence that doesn't seek validation. When you walk like you belong, others start believing it, even before they know why. Here's a real story. Early 20th century France. A man named Victor Lustig, a con artist. He once sold the Eiffel Tower for scrap. He posed as a government official, invited top scrap dealers, used official letters, met them in luxury hotels, and behaved with absolute confidence. No fear, no hesitation. One dealer paid him a huge sum. Lustig vanished. The dealer was so embarrassed he never reported it. I'm not saying you should scam anyone. The lesson is this. Confidence is incredibly powerful. Lustig had no real authority. But he acted like he did, and people believed him. Now, imagine combining that confidence with real capability. That's unstoppable. Remember this? Reaching the world of power is an event. Surviving there is a war. Luck may give you an opportunity, but only intelligence lets you keep it.